The Supreme Court dealt major setbacks to the Democrats' agenda last week, pushing some on the left to renew calls for court reform. One proposal is term limits. Democrats in the House reintroduced legislation on Friday that would cap justices at 18 years on the bench. Here to discuss is a co-sponsor of that bill, Representative Khanna of California. Thank you so much for joining me today. I want to ask about this term limit legislation because if enacted, it would apply to future justices, not those currently on the bench. Knowing exactly when a Supreme Court seat will become vacant, doesn't that make the nominating process even more heated and political?
Dana, actually, it would do the opposite because we wouldn't have the high stakes on each of the nomination. Every president would get 2 appointments every 2 years. Justices would be there for 18 years. And Dana, 49 out of 50 states in this country have either term limits on their Supreme Court or age limits. So it's consistent with our political culture.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as you know, sat on the bench for 27 years. She earned the title Notorious RBG. Could curtailing the legacy of justices, or at least the tenure of justices, make it hard for a future RBG or even Sandra Day O'Connor, who was there for 25 years?
Sure, they're great justices, and they wouldn't be able to serve 25, 26 years, which is the average. They would serve 18 years, and that is one downside. But the advantage is you would make the court far less ideological, and you wouldn't have a situation like now where you have justices who are just out of touch with modern life, who don't understand the struggles of those with student loans, who don't understand what it's like for women to have their bodies controlled, and you just have a court that's out of touch with the facts of modern life.
So, as you well know, those who are in favor of the Supreme Court rulings listen to what you're saying and say, wait a minute, the court has been ruling against various political agendas and ideals for decades. I mean, conservatives did not approve of Roe v. Wade when that was decided 50 years ago. And what they did was they mobilized, they got Republicans elected, and then particularly at the White House, and then they got conservatives on the bench. Isn't that just how it works?
Well, right now you have a crisis of confidence. That's why actually many Republicans support this proposal. I mean, I think this idea that you have justices there for 30, 40 years was not the founding intent. And there are a lot of court reform proposals. This is one of the few that Republicans, Democrats, and independents support. 18 years is a long time. And then a justice can still be a judge because under the Constitution, they have to be a judge for life. But they go on to a lower court or a district court. That's what the founders intended, not that they serve on the highest court for 30, 40 years.
So it would only be a limit for the highest court, no limits on the circuit or district court levels?
Exactly, because the Constitution says you have to be a judge for life. Now, when we did this tenure, it was because we had monarchs who were basically throwing out the decisions of jurists. That's a long time ago, but still we can keep the lifetime tenure for judges, but not on the highest court. They're there for 18 years. Every 2 years, a president gets his appointment. It would prevent things like what happened to Merrick Garland. We know as a country, every 2 years this happens. It would depoliticize the system, and the president's own commission recommended this to him when all the reform proposals were there. I believe he should adopt it, and this should be an issue in the 2024 campaign.
You mentioned President Biden after the Supreme Court ruled on affirmative action last week. He was asked whether or not he believes that there should be court reforms. Listen to what he said.
I think if we start the process of trying to expand the court, we're going to politicize it maybe forever in a way that is not healthy. I think that some of the court are beginning to realize their legitimacy is being questioned in ways that hadn't been questioned in the past.
Are you satisfied with what he said there to Nicole Wallace?
Well, look, I understand the challenges with expansion. I was just watching the FDR documentary, and he had a challenge with that. So I understand that challenge. That's why I think term limits is a common sense proposal that the president could adopt, that his own commission has recommended, and that many Americans would say we should do. We've done it in the states.
Any chance for a Republican co-sponsor?
We're trying on it. Look, the Republicans have co-sponsored legislation when it comes to congressional and Senate term limits. I've actually been a co-sponsor of that. I guess my question is, if you're for term limits for Congress members and senators, why not term limits for the Supreme Court, who are not elected and who have the least accountability?
It's a good question. Congressman Khanna, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we have more news ahead after a quick break. Stay with us.